presentation? And they said, certainly. And what I did is, this here comes from Brian Chin. It's all his pictures, and then this other stuff. And it attracts attention. And it gets their attention. No sooner do you stop talking, everybody's up in the front of the room looking at pictures. Because most people do not know what we have. And a great example of that is, I did a show with the American Livebearers Association. They asked me if I would bring some guppies to the show. I convinced them that they needed 5 categories. And I got them to do solid males, colored males, any kind of tail males, females, and albinos, which was 5 categories and 3 places in each category. Well, it turned out kind of funny. I took every place, all 15. So we ended up being the talk of the show, which I was told that they wouldn't care about guppies. But guess what? They do. We've gotten some members out of it. We've got questions from all over the country, which I've sent them to the other clubs near where they live. So that's a good way of going. If you have a national show coming in your area, ask them if you can set up a table in the vending room, which I had, and I did this in the vending room, and then if you can do a talk and bring your best fish so you can put it in the show. And you will get attention from these guys that want to know exactly where that fish came from with the GPS in the middle of the Amazon. They like this stuff too. So that worked out. What we've done is we've had our meetings every other month. I don't want to wear them out. And we tend to have a meeting at individual homes. I don't know if some of you have seen some of the pictures on the Facebook. We've got some pretty interesting people in the club. Each meeting, someone volunteers to do it at their house. And in the process, you're given the choice: do you want to provide all the food for the meeting? Do you want to have potluck at the meeting? Do you want to go out and buy food and then just everybody chip in? Some of us, we cook for the whole club. Like I do a barbecue when we have a meeting at my house. Last month was Coach Richard Schmidt, who's the head coach of the University of Tampa basketball team. Well, you know, being in academia, they have a lot of entertaining. So he said, nobody bring anything. My wife loves to do this thing. Well, they put out one hell of a spread. And then the other guys, they'll go buy cold cuts and stuff like that. And then everybody just drops a couple of bucks on the table when they leave. And that works fine. You want to keep your meetings as informal as you can. Your structure as informal as you can, because it makes it more friendly. You start getting in too much structure, you're going to chase people out the door. You don't want to do that. It's so easy to just keep it natural. You sit around, you talk. And what you're going to find, and this is for your clubs that are losing members, whatever we do, you can be doing, and you can gather more members. There's no reason why you're losing members and not gaining new members. Everybody says the hobby's dead. That's not true. That's proven by what we've done this past year. It's been so easy to get members, and members that come to every meeting. Like I say, we've got 31 members in Florida, and we get 2/3 members every meeting. And when it's at my house, the nearest guy is 80 miles away, and most of the members are between 120 to 200 miles away. And we're getting almost 100% when they come to my house, mainly because I have a big fish room, and it's a novelty. So they all got to come. Raising money is slow. It's not hard, it's just slow. And when we have, every meeting we have an auction, you don't get the best prices in the world when you have an auction. Everybody's looking for a bargain. When they come to my house, the night before, I put a price on every tank that I'm going to sell fish at. There is no auction. When they come to my house, this is the price, that's it. Not negotiable, that's it. The last meeting that we had in my house, we made over $500 for the club. I had prices from $10 a trio up to $50, depending on what line it was. There was no hesitation. They dug in their pocket. That's what they liked, they paid. And if you can get away with that, do it, because it's hard to raise money when you're looking to get a couple of grand to do a show, and you're only doing it at $40, $50 at a time. So if you can pull that one off, that's a great way of going. You're going to find out the world is full of followers. You're the leader. And that's just the way it is. That's the way society is in America today. Everybody wants to follow. So when you step up and you say, I'm going to do this, you're it. You're the guppy guru. You're everything. You're the planner. You name it, you're it. We have a lot of highly educated people in the club. I'm the main speaker every time. So what I got to do is I got to run home, decide what I'm going to do for the next meeting, and then hit the internet and gather as much knowledge as I can, so that when I go to the meeting and I talk, you can't trick me up. Because I've researched it enough that any question they have, I can give an answer to. And that's a pain in the neck. I'm sure some of your teachers know that. You know, everybody's got questions when you do it. But that's what's going to happen. You're going to be everything. To start a club, we all know it only takes 5 people. Well, you and your wife are the first 2 officers in the club. So really, you're only looking for 3. It's easy to get 3 people. You can do that at the local pet shop. You can do it at the local club, but it's easy. And then you find a couple other ones that'll step up. Like our treasurer, he's the treasurer of 3 other clubs in the state of Florida. So that was great. And that's what you're going to find when you get with aquarium club people. They're very dependable as far as coming. They're very knowledgeable about fish. And what you got to understand is, what they need to understand is, they're worried about guppies because they've read all this garbage you hear on the internet about I.F.G.A. fish being weak, inbred too much. Farthest thing from the truth. And all you got to convince them is, if you've taken good care of your cichlids, or you've taken good care of your killies, you're going to take good care of your guppies. You may need to know a few little odds and ends for show guppies to make better show guppies, but if you have good husbandry habits with other fish, you're going to have them with your guppies. And that's, believe it or not, that's a hard thing to convince them. They're all gun shy. Like, we only had one person that was going to show this show. Well, she had a death in the family last week, so the fish become rather unimportant this week, so that's understandable. There's other ones that talk about it, but they're gun shy. You just got to keep on harping. And when you recruit, you've got to remember, you've got to be all-inclusive. Whether they want to show fish, whether they just want to learn about guppies, they're all welcome. Because some of them will become show people. But you got to start them someplace. If you start saying, well, if you're not interested in showing, you're not welcome, you're not going to have any members. And you just bring the broad spectrum in, you meet, and you'll get it out of them. They'll come around. But you can't close the door because you'll never have a club if you do that.
Joel, let me ask you a question.
Sure. Oh, anybody that has, anybody has questions, you raise your hand. It's a lot easier to do that during the conversation than just talking.
What if you have somebody that joins the club, pays their dues, and never shows up?
Forget about it. Life goes on.
You don't,
We've had,
you don't push.
life goes on. We've had 3 people come and go since we started. And we're 31 in-state people. We had our webmaster, not a very nice person.